the Browns and the Ravens. The Browns coming in here 5-3, Ravens 7-2. You got two of the best defenses, yardage wise, to go against each other during the season in all of NFL history. You know what I mean? You got two teams that have premier quarterbacks that are two of the most paid quarterbacks in the NFL. And then you have a team in the Ravens who have just pretty much went ahead and turned their home field into a house of horrors for everybody that comes in there, except for the old Baltimore team. I think that was more of a cursed situation right there. I think that was more about the coach just coming back and just confirming who still runs Baltimore, with that 22-19 upset that they had earlier this year. But after that, you haven't seen this Ravens team slack a minute. You really haven't. Ever since that game, they've had a loss in the process, but it was Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh, dog. You know what I mean? It happens. But dude, other than that, the other 7 games that they played, they've been absolutely dominant. They've just been absolutely crushing. When you say dominant, you have to look at points against and points for. And when you look at points against and points for, it's leagues ahead of these teams that they've done this year. This is just it's incredible because it looks just like a Ravens team that we saw about a decade ago go to New Orleans and win a Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers. And they were kind of in the same situation. Very tough, a very tough NFC North that sent 3 teams to the playoffs as well, too. And I think they had to beat 2 of them to get there. I think they had to beat both Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. I know they had to beat Pittsburgh in the conference championship game, one of the best that we've ever had. Also, they had to beat a very good Denver team that year as well, too. So, this Baltimore squad has been nothing but success the last every year since have had Harbaugh. We talk about Tomlin so highly, but we need to talk more about John Harbaugh as well too. Everybody's always talking about bringing his brother. What's it going to take to bring him to another franchise? You know what I mean? Because I'd rather take him any day of the week over Jim's old messy ass. You know what I mean? Jim gonna come up in here with 15 different scandals, dog. And I think that I know we'll talk about it on another show, but if I heard from NFL guys that he's not their cup of tea, and we just had the Josh McDaniels situation and everything like that. So but we'll save that for another day. But all in all, the Browns won a game that was pretty much what we call at the track a square, Jeff. That's just like the best horse going against 4 little dogs that they brought from the back. You know what I mean? That's it. The Browns was just in a optional allowance optional claimer. Race A, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody here. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody worried about the Cardinals. They knew what was up. The Browns could have put their B team out there and beat the Cardinals the way that game went Sunday. But Baltimore, they had a real game, Jeff. They had to go against the Seattle Seahawks, one of the better teams in the NFL, who just beat Cleveland the week before. They didn't beat them down. Cleveland literally beat them most of the game, but still, they beat Cleveland. They come back. They're the placeholder now in the West because we all know the West is San Francisco's division to lose at the end of the day. Seattle being in first place was never a threat. So, them going in there last week and laying the egg that they did, and the way Baltimore just absolutely dominated them from pillar to post, you just your eyes get big and say, damn, they're not beating up on bad teams. They're destroying some of the best teams in the NFL. And that's the second NFC team that's in a high place that they pretty much sit home with their tail in between their legs. So, this team is dangerous. They're very serious, but this game right here is the letdown, Jeff. I'm taking the Browns with the +6 because I feel like what happens here is that the Browns get into this game. They play it smarter than they did in Cleveland. There was a lot of excitement that day. There was a lot of expectations that day because they thought DRT was going to be able to just step in and become, the next coming of Cam Newton or Bernie Kosar or something, and it didn't happen. So, now you got your $230 million guaranteed man back here, the guy who's supposed to be playing against the Ravens in big games like this. Give me the Browns +6 because this game is coming down to the final possession, Jeff, and it's whoever's kicker's on the field at the end. That's how I'm looking at this one. Your thoughts?
Great game. My true numbers here was 3.5 with a 38. Now 6 with a 37.5. Defenses will travel, and this Browns defense has been phenomenal. Deshaun Watson comes back, has a decent game. Um, on the flip side, the Ravens are just cooking with Crisco, and they are just steamrolling teams. I've been talking for a long, long time that look out for this team, and it's good to see on some national shows that they are considered the number one ranked team in the NFL currently right now. Again, we still got 2 months before the playoffs, but Lamar, the addition of Zay Flowers, a healthy Mark Andrews, OBJ filling in here and there. The defense, second to none. I'm still disappointed at the trade deadline. They didn't get Sweat or Chase Young there, but that's okay. I think it's a little overpriced, and the fact that they got to host the Bengals could be a little peak for next Thursday. So I grabbed the points. I bought the hook as well. I get the Browns up to 6.5 in case it lands on 6. 37. I'm gonna go, your classic 23-20. Maybe 21-20, 21-17. But I think the Ravens will eke it out. Wouldn't be shocked, by the way, if the Browns found a way and upset them. Would not be shocked. But I think that the Browns cover and the Ravens will find a way to win.
And that's what it really looks like. You know what I mean? Because the Browns are a team that you kind of know when they're going to win and you kind of know when they're going to lose. And this is one of those weeks where you say, yeah, I think they're probably going to lose this game. You know what I mean? Because, it's just how the team is set up. But let's both keep it real. We know that this team is if you put them in the other NFC portion of the North, they're running away with that division. The only team they would have to deal with is the Lions. That's it. You know what I mean? So, it's great to be in this tough division because we know that it's guaranteed 3 are going to the playoffs. Let's keep it real. I think we're getting 3 in from the North, and that's really what we have to look at. And, the Browns just don't want to be on the outside looking in because when you really look at it, you say to yourself, if anybody gets left out, it's probably them. Even though they probably do have a better offense than the Steelers slightly have a better defense because TJ. You know what I mean? Even though the Browns got guys, you know what I mean? But, TJ is just so overwhelming. That's the whole thing. And he can put Pittsburgh over the top. Pittsburgh knows how to win games in December. The Browns don't. That's the difference. So we'll see how it goes. But with that, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. And when we get back, we will be getting into the late game. So you guys stay tuned. This is the NFL Bet Exchange with the one and only Pop DiBiase.